And we are live. We are live on YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara. All relations. Let's get started today with another video. And today we're speaking about a very, very important topic because this is my Uno reverse card to people who talk a bunch of trash about channeling, man. And I don't like people shitting on my art form. Okay, let's just say that. So this is why I'm very passionate about today's topic. So if I appear like I'm angry or I'm agitated about this, it's merely because I have been at the brunt of these people who have been trying to silence and shame the idea of channeling. Okay. Now, I have a response to this. First of all, let me share it with the tribe. Let's go. All right. So now that we've alerted the tribe, let's tap in. Hey there, babe. Let's tap in, okay? We're here once again talking about one of my favorite topics ever, channeling, okay? Now, the first comment that I hear people make is that it's not scientific, right? It's not scientific. But let me tell you this, it actually is very scientific. Hey there, Samba. It's very scientific because it does use step by step, it does use methodologies. There's actually the Institute of Noetic Sciences based on this channeling tech, okay, including research done with gamma waves. And people who listen to gamma wave frequencies are said to tap into these different fields of energy, right, and start speaking from it. So when you're saying it's not scientific, cool story, bro. Okay, but neither is love. Okay, yeah, but what about the oxytocin and the neurochemicals? Well, okay. So science is a methodology. It's not a religion. Its job is to measure the material, right? And channeling, by its nature, deals with consciousness, non-locality, right, and transcendence. These are things that precede matter, right? So science can't measure the dream realm either, but no one's dreaming. Okay. No one says that dreaming isn't real, right? Or denies dreaming. People just deny channeling because they don't have access to it, or they feel the disconnect from hearing someone. Because when I hear most channelers, I go, what the fuck is this, right? I saw this one lady who was just like, and we are here. Right? It's like her system cannot handle the frequency of that highlight vibration. And so she needs to transmogrify her voice to such a degree and such a level, right? That it just sounds like, what is this? So people have channeled art, they've channeled music, they've channeled inventions, they've channeled mathematical breakthroughs, okay? And they've channeled revelations for eons, okay? Ask Da Vinci, ask Jung, ask Tesla. They didn't always call it channeling, sure. Okay, but the muse was real and it still is real. All right, that's number one. Number two, what is the argument they make? They make money, okay? As if that's a bad thing. Ah, yes, the oldest smear tactic in the skeptics playbook, right? Spiritual people making money equals automatic fraud. Okay. But here's a question. Do you shame therapists or teachers or scientists for charging money? No. Then why do you shame mystics? Why do you shame channelers and people who go about it in that way? You're not angry because they charge. You're angry because they challenge your worldview. They make you feel powerless. So, $222 session isn't like a scam if someone gets, it's only a scam if they get nothing from it. But guess what? Tens and thousands do. Testimonials or testimonies, right? That's where the word comes from, a testimonial. It doesn't lie. just because you can't measure them in a lab, right? Yeah, but that testimonial over here said under paragraph subsection A that this person, okay, let's analyze the testimonials too, right? Sure, some people make a fake testimonial. That's besides the point, right? There's con artists, there's weirdos in any game, right? So cold reading Barnum's statement, sure, some fake psychics use those techniques, right? But let's not pretend that all mystics around the world are carnival tricks. No, a real channeler doesn't need to scan your clothing or, look at your photo on Facebook. They speak truths that resonate so deeply that they start to alter people's lives, that they unlock repressed patterns like with scalpel-like precision, right? And this is why I see channelers or people who are tapped into this skill set as doctors of the soul, because they are being able to tap into a higher state of consciousness or a different frequency, pull energy from there, bring it through them, right? Like a decoder, and present it to the world as a message. So think about that, right? Really think about that skill set. Now, have you ever tried to cold read a room, right? Full of quantum physicists, remote viewers, okay? Trauma survivors. Good luck, okay? Welcome, Ryan G. Yo. Another thing that I hear is no one's given us inventions or cures through channeling. Wrong. Okay, you're assuming channeling doesn't give us lightsabers of or like anti-cancers pills to be real. Bashar gave us the permission slip technology, right, for accessing altered states. Abraham Hicks pioneered the law of attraction in the mainstream. Vaiwamus, my oversoul, teaches subtle body activations that rival trauma therapy. So these aren't gadgets, they're actually spiritual tech. And you're expecting spiritual beings to play your materialist game. And that's where the shit gets all sorts of messed up. Okay. Hold on. There's a weird thing happening with my mic. Can you guys still hear me? Loud and clear? Okay. So it's just confirmation bias, they say. Or is it the inner knowing? It's funny how a skeptic gets to have reason, but the mystic must be full of bias. Isn't that just a little biased? Okay. So when a channeler's words awaken you like a soul memory, when you start crying for no reason, it's like, what the fuck's happening? Right? And your whole body vibrates in resonance. That's not confirmation bias, my friend. That's remembrance. There's something else going on there. So most channelers contradict each other. So do scientists, my friend. Okay. Bashar contradicts Abraham, contradicts Chiron. Shocking? No. So does Einstein contradict Newton, who contradicts, Freud contradicts Jung, and every religion contradicts each other. That's because truth has layers, bro, right? Truth has layers and it is interpreted through different filters. So Azulu shaman, his truth may sound very different to a Pleiadian being, right? But when you feel into it, instead of trying to prove it, you know that they're pointing to the same field of unity, consciousness, love. Okay. So there's this idea of Occam's razor. Have you guys heard of this thing? Someone was bringing this up, so I'm just going to look up the definition first. Okay. Occam's razor is a principle that says the simplest explanation is usually the right one. Okay? For example, if you hear hoofs, you automatically assume it's got to be a horse, right? You're not thinking and sitting there going, fuck, these unicorns are loud, right? So that's what they're really saying. So if we relate it, let's relate it back to spirituality or coaching. So they're saying the truth is often simple, our ego loves to complicate. So when someone says, I feel stuck because of past lives, curses, or energy vampires, maybe that's true, or maybe it's just fear, avoidance, right? A need for rest, and so forth. So the razor cuts through the drama, the story, and the fluff and asks, what is the most simplest, most grounded reason that I feel this way? What is the next honest step forward? That is the Occam razor's method, right? But let's flip it. So what's simpler? Number one, a million people around the world are hallucinating the same archetypes, the same patterns, right? Through the same messages, right? Through psychedelic trips and multidimensional beings. Number two, or option B, there's something real that we can't fully explain, but are undeniably experiencing. So if we're being honest, B sounds way more elegant, right? So I feel like that's the more simpler answer. Okay, we don't have the answer. We're experiencing it. So New Age channeling, okay, it's undeniable. It's real. Many people can do it. You can do it too, probably, but you need to train in it. And the only reason it's infuriating is because it breaks your illusion that the ego is the center of all things, right? So go ahead, rub your hands together and breathe heavy like you're about to enter a transmission state of your own. And guess what? This ain't New Age. This ain't New Age. It's ancient as fuck. Okay, Oracle of Delphi. Like what? What are we talking about here, right? This goes way back, not just to back to the Theosophy crowd, right? But this just goes way, way into the ancient codes. There's certain people who laugh at the right brain. Okay, hardcore materialists and skeptics. They want proof, not poetry. They think logic is king and intuition is its court jester, right? So these folks worship the scientific method like it's a deity. And then they make fun of you for praising deities. So if you can't be poked, prodded, or peer reviewed, it's considered woo-woo by them. Okay. Oh yeah, but where's the peer-reviewed article that says this? Okay. Usually, so I grew up in this kind of academic environment, right, guys? So I was constantly under the microscope, under the scrutiny of like, what if this thing is fake? What if this, that kind of a feeling, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call that, right? Everybody goes through that. It's a phase on your evolution and on your process. So left-brained intellectual elitists usually very overly rational and secretly terrified of chaos, right? So they scoff at imagination unless it's used in a TED talk by a neuroscientist, right? So they believe the right brain is for daydreamers and children, not for serious thinkers, right? Or the internet atheist bros, right? The Reddit warriors with anime avatars. And like, actually, right? That kind of energy. You know what I mean, guys? Actually, okay. Social justice warriors, right? But actually, they equate spirituality with stupidity and they get so angry when others experience transcendence because they don't. They don't. They post memes mocking astrology while ignoring their own emotional repression, right? That's exactly right, Sam. Those emojis explain it perfectly. Then we have the productivity hustlers, right? Obsessed about optimization. If they don't do a dopamine detox that week, they're fucked, right? So they label the right brain unproductive, right? And they suppress all their creativity unless it builds you a funnel or a brand or a strategy. Why? Because the right brain doesn't play by their rules. It dances, it dissolves ego, it channels, it speaks in synchronicities. So rather than surrender to it, they really fear the feminine. They fear that energy of letting go, of release. So they point and they mock and they try to look more alpha, more superior, more dominant, when in reality, they're not. So the irony is, even those who laugh at the right brain use it every single day. They fall in love, right? They dream, they feel, they just don't talk about it. They suppress it, right? The right brain is the origin of great art, deep healing, inner knowing, mystical downloads, that aha moment that even the scientists crave at times. They want that gamma wave spike. I almost said gamma ray, right? Like the Hulk, like Bruce Banner channeling, right? Oh, Hulk mad. Okay. So what do? We don't argue, we embody it, we create. We channel unapologetically. We channel unapologetically. We let our imagination ripple through reality like we're riding through dragons through wormholes. Okay. And when they point and laugh at us, we keep smiling and we just say, keep laughing, keep laughing, lefty. Okay. Or whatever, like word that we use to shame others, right? There's the righties and then there are the lefties, right? Bro, you have both hemispheres. Calm down. Okay. When you compute, I commune. When you compute, I commune. When you compute, I commune. Okay. So the intellectuals all pulling out their dusty little academic slippers, sitting down with a cup. Well, actually, tea, and gently massaging their skepticism with polite jargon, right? Some spirit communications can be profound. They're saying just can be, right? Others are just complete drivel. Bro, drivel to who? Your crusty ass materialist paradigm? Your Newtonian paradigm, right? To the guy who needs a PowerPoint slide just to feel a feeling, right? Bro, maybe they're just split personality people, right? This was another thing. So when a Harvard trained medium channels Rama, right? The energy of wisdom with unique brainwave signatures for each being, they're just creating a car personality in their head. That's your grand conclusion? Let me guess. Carl Jung was just talking to his imaginary friend Philemon too, right? Who many people, by the way, have encountered through their dream realms. Philemon is a real dream character that keeps showing up. How the fuck is this possible? Nah, homie, this isn't fragmentation, it's initiation. So the audacity to say, let's call it a benign personality disorder, you know? It's as if wisdom can't live inside someone unless they're neurotic. What kind of a mentality is this? You call it a subpersonality. You call it a fantasy. You call it a god mask. It's no mask. Okay, Rykov still, but let's go. That's still what I'm talking about. But I call it channeling. The archetypical or archetypal infrastructure of the universe. So when people say, don't do channeling, it might open a door. Bro, life is a fucking door. What do you mean? Being born is a portal opening ritual, right? Waking up with a dream that shakes you to your core is already you channeling something. But let's scare the kiddies. The spirit might come in through this. Don't touch that. That Ouija board is very dangerous. Okay. Don't use it, not even on Halloween. Fam, you're already possessed by fear, by doubt, by the voice in your head that tells you that you're small and cut off from the all. But you're not. That's the thing. These people aren't. They just forgotten their power. They've just become suppressed in their own natural nature. So you're scared of the door because the door is the mirror. And on the other side is the version that doesn't need permission. And that's why it scares you. And don't even get me started on the charge money thing again, man. If you can pay a therapist $300 to regurgitate Freud, okay, a channeler shares an interdimensional download about your soul's blueprint, instantly they're a fraud if they ask for an energy exchange. Shut up, dude. Right? Your Starbucks Frappuccino costs more than some people's spiritual sessions. Right? Out here complaining about people asking for money. And then there's this one, right? Dying doesn't raise your intelligence quotient. Okay. Okay, but neither does clinging to a 3D worldview and pretending that it's universal truth, right? Just because someone's dead doesn't make them enlightened, right? But we treat it like that. And guess what? Being alive doesn't make you very wise either. No, it has nothing to do with those two things. Okay. It's just the process of life. It's like, energy needs to be transformed. It cannot stay the same. But that's what's happening. So the truth is, channeling is messy, man. It's unpredictable. It's wild. It's sacred. It can be scary. It's half nonsense, half nectar. Just like dreams are, just like poetry is, just like jazz is. Some channelers are grifters, some are delusional, but some are actual way showers. They are soul bridges. And I want them on my team, bro. Okay? Get over here. Okay? Let's learn this shit together. And you wouldn't know one if they stared you dead in the eye and whispered your karma in Sanskrit because you are too busy trying to evacuate and invalidate and evaluate their validity instead of feeling the fucking transmission. So I'm sick and tired of people who jump into any kind of a relationship, whether that be with a being, a deity, doesn't matter, a person, thinking that they're hopping on a party bus, no map, no mission, no fucking clue where they're going. And that's what most people do when they set into a channeling thing, right? They're using it recreationally. You know how you use drugs recreationally, right? Use channeling recreationally. You don't use it as a permission slip for you to actually crush it and embody this firepower with it. Okay. By the way, guys, we have our podcast today as well. So go tap in. That one's with Ryan G and myself. Okay, let's go. Okay, that is going to be a good one. So I've seen this before, right? I'm going to change topic a little bit because this is the download I'm getting. Okay. If you have no clue where you're going, and then you start wondering, why is she not feeling it? Okay. Why is she cold? Why is she pulling away? Bro, she can't trust you if you can't even trust yourself, your own direction. You don't want to lead a queen into the jungle if you can't even find the damn compass. But you're out here like, hey there, babe, come with me. Wherever the hell I end up. What? That's spiritual Uber with no destination punched in, right? That's not leading. You want to melt her into your arms, relax her into your frame, into your reality. Then show her, not just her, but yourself, that you have the fucking track, man. I'm going here. 3 years I'm building this. 5 years I'm serving that. 10 years I'm a legacy. And you don't just beg this person to stay, but a lot of people, they have these Netflix dopamine hits and Pornhub philosophies, right? Or Tinder mindsets. You get what I'm saying, guys? In this modern world, an app is running our consciousness. And here's the real killer. When you're lost in life, you start to resent other people. You start to resent your family. You start to resent her. You start to resent all these different areas, even when she just wants your love. Because deep down, you're supposed to be doing something else. So every time he's reaching out, you flinch, you feel guilty, you feel like a fraud because you're not on your purpose. That's why you feel like a fraud. And that resentment, it leaks. It poisons the whole vibe. And don't get me started on the distractions. You don't need another podcast, another scroll, another dopamine snack. You need to sit the hell down in silence and burn. Burn in that purposeless ache. Let it sting, let it fester, because that is your initiation. That is the fire of not knowing. That's what cooks your soul into a man, right? And if they try to say, I don't know my purpose, good. But then guess what? Your purpose is to find your purpose. That's the damn assignment. 1 hour a day, no music, no messaging, just sitting with your demons and asking, what the fuck am I here to give before I die? What the fuck am I here to give before I die? Okay, that's the question. What the fuck am I here to give before I die? Okay, shout out David Data for that question. There's no lightning bolt answer, no angel choir. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be slow. You'll want to distract yourself. You want to escape halfway. You want to quit. Don't quit, because somewhere hidden in that boredom and dread and silence is the key, is the sprout, right? The first yes. That one idea that makes your whole body go, let's go. And when that lands, oh, fuck, you're dangerous. You're magnetic. And now you're someone that other people can actually follow, not because she needs to, because she wants to. So stop playing Lost Boy and start burning like a fucking beacon of light. This is your life, bro. This is not a joke. And you've been dodging it. So light it back up. Let that flame burn again. Sit back and watch everything around you crumble. Your choice. So you want to judge all the mystics in the world, that's fine. Okay? That's fine. But at least bring more than these weak-ass, Freud fan fiction and spooky Ouija board stories, right? We're over that here, right? We're over here reweaving reality, and here you're talking about like some random thing that doesn't even matter in the short term, right? So a lot of people are out here arguing if it's okay to feel things that science can't explain. Catch up, right? You folks out here are saying you can affirmation your way out of depression in 5 ways. Just say that I'm happy 108 times, and then your trauma disappears. Bro, you're gaslighting people with a crystal in one hand and denial in the other, okay? Trying to sell enlightenment. You can't mantra your way through a chemical imbalance, bro. You can't your nervous system isn't listening to your spiritual bypass anymore. You can't rub Palo Santo on generational trauma and expect it to disappear. But some of you are out here confusing coping mechanisms, using even your incense as a coping mechanism rather than for cosmic downloads. And don't even get me started on the love and light, high vibrational bullshit, bruh. You swapped out sin and hellfire with vibes and frequency shame. You just repackaged and repurposed guilt with prettier font, right? Guys, I'm just speaking the truth. I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm just speaking the truth. So you're feeling low today. You must be low vibe. You must have eaten a burger or watched too much Netflix. Okay, what? Come on now. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you're just human. Maybe you need a nap in a, therapist. Another Akashic Records healing from Brenda and Bali, right? You're not failing your soul mission just because you wake up anxious. You're not cursed because you don't speak light language. You're not broken. You're just healing. And healing is fucking messy. So you got to own the mud. You know what's actually low vibe? Judging people for their emotions. Shaming people for not levitating by Wednesday. Acting like you're better than everyone. Because your third eye is sponsored by the Pleiadians. Or the Arcturians, right? Ready for the real medicine? Your purpose isn't to raise the collective vibration. Your purpose isn't to save the grid. And your purpose isn't to be spiritual. Your purpose is to exist fully, messily, honestly. That's it. You want to help the whole world heal? Start by being real. Start by letting your friends cry without throwing law of attraction quotes at their face. Start by admitting you don't have it all figured out either. I've seen too many people spiral into spiritual psychosis because they try to bypass being human. Yes, we are an alien April, but let's acknowledge our humanness first. Then we can be aliens. Then we can be super natural. First, let's be natural. And let me tell you, spiritual narcissism is the final boss. Okay? When you've met that, oh man, you met it all. Okay? The ones that act like they've transcended duality, but they still gossip in the group chat. The ones that say, I'm the Holy Spirit, and then this guy's about to quote the Bible. Okay? The ones that say everything is love, but avoid accountability like it's the plague. Miss me with that rainbow fake light. No, 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 no. Uncle Makara, take flight. You got to go to therapy. Take your meds if you need them. You got to meditate. You got to cry ugly. You got to use meditation not as an escape. You got to be real. Question everything, even question your guides. Because I do. I do. I want to know. I'm curious to know. And curiosity didn't kill the cat. It resurrected the tiger. You don't need to be a cosmic light technician with a galactic degree to be worthy in this space. And you're not a failure if you feel lost. You're not less divine because you speak English or eat bread or scroll Instagram. You're not here to be a new age NFT, right? Or an NPC. You're not here to be a new age clone. You're here to live, not perform. And if this whole message triggered you, good. Maybe you were meant to hear it, okay? That means your soul's listening. Welcome to real fucking spiritual path, real growth, unfiltered, unapologetic, unfuckwittable. See you next time, wild one. Uncle Makara out, smashes a fucking coconut and walks into a fog. Let's fucking go, okay? Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like button, man. Come on, get those likes up. Upward Spiral. Yeah, let's win. Balling for infinity. Yeah. We go until we limitless. Yeah. Yeah, we keep ascending quick. Yeah. Time to get the medicine. Yeah. Slow it down like sedative. Hey, peace, peace, peace. Let's go. Shalom, om, salam. Amen, amin. Oh, let's go. Let's go.